This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, students. Last class, I explained this numerical problem in the parallelogram law of forces. Check this problem carefully. This problem was repeatedly asking in the semester examination. Number of times this problem was asked in the semester examination. So please everyone go through this numerical problem, understand it clearly. Two forces, 2p Newton and p Newton, are acting at a point on a rigid body. That is first condition. What are those two forces? 2p Newton and p Newton. F1 is equal to 2p Newton. F2 is equal to p Newton. Please read that first sentence. In that first sentence, they have given only the magnitudes of force F1, force F2. What is F1? 2p Newton. What is F2? p Newton. But in that first sentence, they have not given the angle between the F1, F2. They have given only the magnitudes. First force is 2p Newton. Second force is p Newton. But in that first sentence, they have not given the angle between the two forces, 2p Newton and p Newton. Coming to the next sentence. If the first force is doubled, what is that first force? 2p Newton. If the first force is doubled, that is 4p Newton, and the second force is increased by 12 Newton. What is the second force? P Newton. In the second sentence, it is increased by 12 Newton. So it becomes as P plus 12 Newton. Check that second sentence also. In the second sentence also, they mentioned the magnitudes of first force and second force. But in the second sentence also, they have not mentioned the angle between the forces. So in this problem, they mentioned only the magnitudes of first force and second force. But nowhere in the problem, angle between the forces is not mentioned. Continue the problem. The direction of the resultant force is unaltered. Resultant force is same direction. In the first condition, in the second condition, the resultant force is same direction. I will explain that later. Determine the magnitude of force P. That's the problem. So in this problem, the angle between the two forces F1, F2 is not mentioned. So while reading the problem, you must observe that point here. They have given two conditions in the problem. First condition, second condition. But in those two conditions, they have not mentioned the angle between the two forces. So you must take that as the advantage to solve this problem. So in this problem, inherently, they are given that the two forces F1, F2 are acting at angle theta in both conditions. That is the clue in this point. In the first condition, first force is 2p Newton, second force is p Newton. Take the angle between them as theta. In the second condition, first force is 4p Newton, second force is p plus 12 Newton. Here also, take the angle between the two forces as theta. Same angle in both conditions. Then the direction of the resultant force is unaltered. That indicates resultant force is in the same direction in the first condition as well as in the second condition. No change in the direction of the resultant force. Then find out the force P magnitude. What is that magnitude of the force P? Now coming to this parallelogram law of forces. We know the diagram. This is the diagram in the parallelogram law of forces. In the parallelogram law of forces, we have two forces F1, F2. F1 is side OA. F2 is the side OB of the parallelogram. This is F1 force, one side of the parallelogram. This is the force F2, adjacent side of the parallelogram. This is the parallelogram diagram. Then this diagonal is the resultant force. The resultant force is having the direction. This direction of the resultant force with force F1 making the angle alpha. So that is very, very important. The direction of the resultant force. This is direction of the resultant force. The direction of the resultant force with force F1 making the angle alpha. Alpha gives the direction of the resultant force. Alpha is the direction of this resultant force. In this problem, in the first condition, F1 is 2p Newton, F2 is p Newton. Between the F1 and F2, angle is theta. In the first condition, let this resultant force direction with the first force making the angle alpha. That is in the first condition. Coming to the second condition. In the second condition, F1 is equal to 4p Newton, F2 is equal to p plus 12 Newton. Here also, between the F1 and F2, take the angle theta. Same angle in the second condition. In the second condition also, resultant force is same direction, unaltered. In the second condition also, the direction of the resultant force is same as the first condition. That is the meaning of unaltered. So no change in the direction of the resultant force. Since the direction of the resultant force remains same, in the second condition also, the direction of the resultant force with force F1 making the angle alpha. So in this problem, in both conditions, in the condition 1 and condition 2, the direction of the resultant force with force F1 making the same angle alpha, that is the meaning of resultant force unaltered. Direction of the resultant force unaltered. That means the direction of the resultant force in both conditions making the same angle alpha with force F1. With this, we are going to discuss the solution of this fifth problem. In the first condition, force F1 2p Newton, force F2 p Newton. Take Fr is the resultant force of F1 F2. Between the forces F1 F2, take the angle as theta. Between the resultant force Fr and force F1, take the angle is alpha. This alpha is the direction of the resultant force. We know that in parallelogram law of forces, tan alpha is equal to F2 sin theta by F1 plus F2 cos theta. What is F2 in the first condition? P Newton. What is F1 in the first condition? 2p Newton. Substitute them on the right hand side and find out that tan alpha in the first condition. Therefore, tan alpha is equal to p sin theta. F2 is p Newton. So p sin theta divided by 2p plus p cos theta. This is the parallelogram law equation. That is the direction of the resultant force. Tan alpha is equal to p sin theta divided by 2p plus p cos theta, equation 1. Coming to the second condition in this problem. In the second condition, F1 4p Newton. First force is doubled. F1 4p Newton. Second force is increased by 12 Newton. So F2 is equal to p plus 12 Newton. In the second condition, theta is the angle between the forces F1 and F2. Since the direction of the resultant force is unaltered, in the second condition also, between the resultant force Fr and the force F1, alpha is the angle. Same angle, because the direction of the resultant force is unaltered. Then apply the parallelogram law equation, parallelogram law of forces equation in the second condition. According to parallelogram law of forces, the direction of the resultant force is given by tan alpha is equal to F2 sin theta by F1 plus F2 cos theta. But in the second condition, F2 is equal to p plus 12 Newton. F1 is equal to 4p Newton. So in the second condition, this is the equation of tan alpha, equation 2. In the equation 1 and equation 2, LHS is tan alpha. In the equation 1, LHS is tan alpha. In the equation 2 also, LHS is tan alpha. Equate the RHS. From equation 1, RHS is p sin theta by 2p plus p cos theta. From equation 2, RHS is p plus 12 sin theta by 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta. Cancel the sin theta on both sides. Cancel sin theta in the numerator on both sides. This equation becomes as p divided by 2p plus cos theta is equal to p plus 12 divided by 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta. On the denominator in the left hand side 2p plus p. So take this force p common in the denominator on the left side. So if I take this p common, this denominator becomes as p into 2 plus cos theta. So in that above equation, in the left hand side denominator, take p as common. So this left hand side becomes as p divided by p into 2 plus cos theta is equal to, as it is right hand side, p plus 12 divided by 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta. Cancel this p on the left hand side in the numerator and denominator. So cancel this p on the left hand side in the numerator and denominator. This left hand side becomes as 1 divided by 2 plus cos theta. That is the left hand side. Cancel this p. 1 divided by 2 plus cos theta is equal to same right hand side. P plus 12 divided by 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta. Just to simplify this equation. Check that calculation carefully. So we have on the left hand side 1 divided by 2 plus cos theta is equal to right hand side p plus 12 divided by 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta. Do the cross multiplication in this equation. Bring this denominator to the left side and bring this denominator to the right side. This equation becomes as 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta is equal to p plus 12 into 2 plus cos theta. Expand this right hand side. Keeping this p plus 12 as it is, expand this right hand side. So it is 2 into p plus 12 plus cos theta into p plus 12. So keep this p plus 12 as it is, expand this right hand side. So it becomes as 2 into p plus 12 plus cos theta into p plus 12. That is this right hand side. As it is left hand side. So 4p plus p plus 12 cos theta on the left hand side is equal to 2 into p plus 12 plus p plus 12 into cos theta. Cancel this p plus 12 on both sides. Cancel this p plus 12 on both sides. Then this equation becomes as 4p is equal to 2 into p plus 12. Expand this right hand side. It is 2p plus 24. Bring this 2p to the left hand side, minus 2p. So 4p minus 2p is 2p is equal to 24. So the force p is equal to 12 Newton. This is the solution of the first problem. Resultant force direction is unaltered. So in both conditions, alpha is constant. Alpha gives the direction of the resultant force. This is the solution of the fifth problem. Then the sixth problem. Last class I explained the sixth problem also, but for your revision, please go through that solution of the sixth problem. Two forces are acting at a point simultaneously on a rigid body. So these two forces are concurrent forces acting at the same point on the rigid body. Angle between them is 120 degrees. The angle between the two forces F1 F2 is 120 degrees. The bigger force is 40 Newton. F1 is 40 Newton. Then the resultant force of these two forces. The resultant force of these two forces is perpendicular to smaller force. That is with force F2. The resultant force is perpendicular to the force F2. Find the magnitude of the smaller force. Find out the magnitude of the force F2. This is the sixth problem. So in this problem, two forces are acting simultaneously at a point on the rigid body. Angle between them is 120 degrees. The bigger force is 40 Newton. The resultant force of these two forces is perpendicular to smaller force, that is F2. Find out the magnitude of the smaller force. To solve this problem, please listen carefully. To solve this problem, first prepare the parallelogram. By using this data given in the problem, prepare the parallelogram. We know that in this problem, the two forces F1, F2 are acting at an angle of 120 degrees. So here theta is equal to 120 degrees. Bigger force is 40 Newton. F1 is equal to 40 Newton. The resultant force is perpendicular to smaller force, that is F2. So by using that data given in the problem, prepare the parallelogram. Then you can solve this problem easily. So first we are going to prepare the parallelogram diagram of this numerical problem. This is the diagram. This is the diagram of the parallelogram of that numerical problem. So the first force is F1 is equal to 40 newtons. Second force is F2, smaller force unknown. Between the forces F1 and F2, angle is 120 degrees. This is theta. Between the forces F1 and F2, theta is equal to 120 degrees. Take the force F1 as the side OA of the parallelogram, graphical representation. Take the force F1 as the side OA of the parallelogram. Take F2, unknown force, as the side OB of the parallelogram, such that the angle between the OA and OB is 120 degrees. Then take this resultant force FR perpendicular to the force F2, that is smaller force. So the resultant force FR is perpendicular to the smaller force F2, so angle is 90 degrees. Complete the parallelogram OABC. Complete the parallelogram. So this is the parallelogram law of forces OABC for this numerical problem. So OA is the side, one side of parallelogram, F1 force. OB is the adjacent side of the parallelogram, F2 force. OC is the resultant force, FR. The resultant force is making an angle 90 degrees with the force F2. Complete the parallelogram. Then in this parallelogram, we have this triangle OAC. This is the triangle. The triangle OAC. Observe the triangle OAC carefully. The angle between F1 and F2 is 120 degrees. The angle between the forces F1 and F2, 120 degrees. The resultant force with force F2 making an angle of 90 degrees. Angle between resultant force and F2 is 90 degrees. So the angle between the force F1 and resultant force, this angle. The angle between the force F1 and resultant force is equal to 120 minus 90, that is 30 degrees. The angle between the force F1 and F2 is 90. 120 minus 90, that is 30 degrees. That is alpha. We know that between the force FR and the force F2, since it is a parallelogram, the side OB is equal to side AC. Opposite sides are equal in the parallelogram. Side OB is F2. So side OC is also F2. Opposite sides in the parallelogram are parallel and equal. So here AC is the force F2. We know that between the force F2 and the resultant force, angle is 90 degrees. So here between the forces FR, resultant force, and the force F2, angle is 90 degrees. Check out this triangle carefully, OAC triangle. At O, angle is 30 degrees. At C, angle is 90 degrees. 30 plus 90, 120. So at A, angle is 60 degrees. At corner A, angle is 60 degrees. Sum of the three angles is 180 degrees. So this is the triangle OAC in the parallelogram. In that triangle, OA is F1, AC is F2, OC is FR. Apply the sine rule in this triangle. According to sine rule, OA divided by sine of opposite angle. For this side OA, opposite angle is 90 degrees. So OA divided by sine 90 is equal to AC. To this side AC, opposite angle is 30 degrees. So AC divided by sine 30 degrees is equal to third side OC. OC divided by sine opposite angle 60 degrees. That is the sine rule of this triangle OAC. So follow that sine rule carefully. OA divided by sine 90 is equal to AC divided by sine 30 is equal to OC divided by sine 60. But OA is equal to F1, AC is equal to F2, OC is equal to FR. So from the sine rule, you will get the equation as F1 divided by sine 90. From the sine rule, you will get the equation as F1 by sine 90 is equal to F2 by sine 30 is equal to FR by sine 60. This is the parallelogram law, that triangle OAC, the sine rule. So we consider the triangle OAC in the parallelogram. From that triangle OAC, applying the sine rule, you will get the equation as F1 by sine 90 is equal to F2 by sine 30 is equal to FR by sine 60. In this problem, we require that force F2 magnitude. So take the first term and the second term in this equation. We know that force F1, bigger force is 40 Newton. Substitute F1 40 in this equation. So 40 divided by sine 90 is equal to F2 by sine 30 is equal to FR by sine 60. Since we require the force F2 magnitude, smaller force, take the first term and second term in this equation. So it is 40 divided by sine 90 is equal to F2 divided by sine 30. Simplify that and find out the magnitude of the force F2. Take the first term, second term in this equation. 40 by sine 90 is equal to F2 by sine 30. Simplify this equation. You will get the force F2, smaller force, as 20 Newton. This is the solution for the sixth problem. Coming to the next problem, seventh problem. It is also given in the semester examinations. So please read that problem, understand what is the data given in that numerical problem. So what is the data given in the numerical problem? The magnitude of the resultant force of two forces. The magnitude of the resultant force of two forces, 15 Newton and P Newton. So here 15 Newton is first force F1. P Newton is the second force F2. So they given the magnitude of the resultant force of two forces, 15 Newton and P Newton is 35 Newton. So 35 Newton is the resultant force magnitude. The resultant force magnitude is 35 Newton. First force F1 is 15 Newton. Second force F2 is P Newton. That is the data. The angle between the resultant force and 15 Newton is 30 degrees. The angle between the resultant force and 15 Newton, that is F1, is 30 degrees. So angle alpha is 30 degrees. Alpha is the angle between the resultant force and the force F1. F1 is 15 Newtons. So the angle between the resultant force and 15 Newton, alpha, is 30 degrees. Determine the magnitude of the force P, that is F2. Determine the magnitude of the force P and the angle between the 15 Newton and P Newton. Angle between theta, angle between the F1 and F2. So in this problem, they given the forces F1, F2. F1 is 15 Newton, F2 is P Newton. They given the resultant force magnitude FR, 35 Newton. They given the angle between the resultant force and first force 15 Newton, 30 degrees alpha. And we are asked to find out the magnitude of the first force, second force P Newton, and also the angle between the forces F1, F2, that is theta. So in this problem, we have to find out the magnitude of the force F2, that is P Newton, and also we have to find out the angle between the forces F1, F2, that is theta. Coming to the solution of problem. For this problem also, to solve this problem also, first I prepare the parallelogram. First I assume between the forces F1, F2, angle theta less than 90 degrees. That is assumption. To solve this problem, we assume first the angle between the forces F1, F2 less than 90 degrees. So take the force F1 as the side OA of the parallelogram. This is that side OA, force F1. Take force F2 as the side OB of the parallelogram. F1 is 15 Newton, F2 is P Newton. This is the resultant force of F1, F2, Fr 35 Newton. OC is the resultant force. So in this parallelogram, OA is the force F1, 15 Newton. OB is the force F2, P Newton. OC is the diagonal of the parallelogram, resultant force 35 Newton. Complete the parallelogram. In the parallelogram, opposite sides OA, BC, opposite sides are parallel, equal in length. Similarly, opposite sides OB and AC parallel and equal in length. The side OB is F2 P Newton. So side AC is also the force F2 P Newton. Let between the forces F1 F2 angle is theta. Between the two forces F1 F2, take that angle is theta. Then coming to this angle between the resultant force and F1, Fr and F1, between the forces F1 and Fr, angle is 30 degrees, that is alpha. So first prepare the parallelogram OABC of this problem. Prepare the parallelogram OABC. OA is the force F1. OB is the force F2. Take theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. OC is the diagonal resultant force 35 Newton. The angle between the force F1 and Fr is 30 degrees. Take the triangle OAC in the parallelogram. Take the triangle OAC. In that OAC triangle, OA is equal to F1 15 Newton, AC is equal to F2 P Newton, OC is equal to Fr 35 Newton. Take this triangle OAC. In that OAC triangle at point O, the angle is 30 degrees here. Angle is 30 degrees. So please observe the triangle OAC in the diagram. Dear students, observe the triangle OAC in the diagram. So in that diagram, as per the given data in the problem, as per the given data, we prepare that triangle. In that triangle, we prepare that parallelogram OABC. OA is force F1 15 Newton. OB is force F2 P Newton. The diagonal OC is the resultant force Fr, that is equal to 35 Newton. We know that the resultant force Fr with the force F1 is making the angle 30 degrees. Then in that parallelogram OABC, take the triangle OAC. In that OAC triangle, the side OA of the triangle is F1 15 Newton. Side AC of the triangle is F2 P Newton. Side OC of the triangle is Fr 35 Newton. Apply the cosine rule. To find out this force P Newton, apply the cosine rule in this OAC triangle. Apply the cosine rule. Please remember, in intermediate trigonometry, you might have read that cosine rule. In the triangle, the cosine rule, according to cosine rule, AC square. I am applying that cosine rule for the triangle OAC. AC square is equal to OA square plus OC square minus 2 into OA into OC into cos of angle between the sides OA OC. Between the sides OA OC, what is that angle? 30 degrees. Between the sides OA OC, the angle is 30 degrees. Apply the cosine rule for this triangle OAC. According to cosine rule, AC square, one side, AC square is equal to OA square plus OC square minus 2 into OA into OC into cos of angle between the side OA OC, that is 30 degrees. That is the cosine rule applied for the triangle OAC. So here I applied the cosine rule for the triangle OAC. OAC triangle, apply the cosine rule. From that cosine rule, you will get the equation as AC square is equal to OA square plus OC square minus 2 into OA into OC into cos of angle between the sides OA OC, that is alpha. In this equation, AC is force F2 P Newton. OA is force F1 15 Newton. OC is the resultant force 35 Newton. Substitute these values in that equation. AC square is P square. AC square P square is equal to OA square 15 square plus OC square 35 square minus 2 into OA 15 into 35 into cos alpha 30 degrees. Simplify this right hand side. Simplify the right hand side. From that simplification of the right hand side, you will get the value on the right hand side as 540.67. This is the simplification of this right hand side, 540.67. So P square is equal to 540.67. From this, the force P, that is F2, force P magnitude is 23.25 newtons. So in this problem, we applied the cosine rule on the parallelogram OABC. So please read that problem, understand the solution of this problem. This is the solution of the problem. We prepare the parallelogram on the white paper. First, we consider the forces F1, F2, angle theta less than 90 degrees. Based on that, we prepare the parallelogram OABC. In that parallelogram, we have the triangle OAC. We apply the cosine rule on the triangle. From that cosine rule, we calculate the magnitude of the force F2 P Newton. Then in the problem, we are also asked to find out this angle theta. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. We are asked to find out this angle theta. Check this parallelogram again. This is the direction of the force F1 OA. This is the direction of the force F2 P Newton. We know that between the forces F1 and F2, angle is theta. Between the forces F1 and F2, angle is theta. So this remaining angle, the total angle is semicircle angle here. Total angle is semicircle angle 180 degrees. And between the force F1 and F2, angle is theta. So the remaining angle is 180 minus theta. Take this triangle OAC. Take the triangle OAC. Apply the sine rule. According to sine rule, AC divided by the sine of opposite angle 30 degrees. AC divided by sine 30 degrees is equal to OC divided by sine of opposite angle, that is 180 minus theta. Apply the sine rule in the triangle OAC to find out the angle theta. So coming to the solution, in the triangle OAC, I apply the sine rule. According to sine rule, for the triangle OAC, OC divided by sine 180 minus theta is equal to AC divided by sine alpha. OC is resultant force FR. The length OC is the resultant force FR 35 Newton. The side AC is the force F2 P Newton. Just now we calculated this P Newton magnitude, that is 23.25. Just in the previous step, we calculated the magnitude of the P Newton. That P Newton is equal to 23.25. So substitute these values in this sine rule. OC is 35 Newton. So 35 divided by sine 180 minus theta is plus sine theta. This is the denominator. Sine 180 minus theta is plus sine theta. So 35 divided by sine theta is equal to AC, that is force P 23.25 divided by alpha is 30 degrees. Simplify this equation. From this equation, sine theta is equal to, sine theta is equal to 35 into sine 30 by 23.5. So sine theta is equal to 0.7526. This is that value. 35 into sine 30 by 23.25 is equal to 0.7526. So from this equation, theta is equal to sine inverse 0.7526. From this, sine inverse of 0.7526 is 48.82 degrees. So in this problem, the angle between the forces F1, F2 is 48.82 newtons. The force F2 magnitude P Newton is equal to 23.25 newtons. So we solve this problem first by preparing the parallelogram of the forces F1, F2. From that parallelogram, we calculate the magnitude of the force P Newton by applying the cosine rule. Then by applying the sine rule on the triangle OAC, we calculate that force, that value of angle theta. So in this problem, we have not applied the parallelogram law equations. Fr is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Tan alpha is equal to F2 cos theta, F2 sin theta by F1 plus F2 cos theta. Without using the equations of parallelogram law of forces, but by preparing the parallelogram diagram and by applying the cosine rule and sine rule on the triangle OAC, we solve this problem. So that is the problem, the numerical problem in parallelogram law of forces. Then the next problem, 8th problem. This is also from the semester examination question papers. Please read that problem. The resultant force of two forces. So everyone read that problem. The resultant force of two forces, one of which is double the other. That is important. The resultant force of two forces F1, F2. Two forces are F1, F2. The resultant force of two forces, one of which is double the other. What is that meaning of one of which is double the other? F1 is equal to 2F2. That is the meaning. One of which is double the other. So here we have two forces F1, F2. One of which is double the other. So F1 is equal to 2F2 is 260 Newton. So the resultant force magnitude is 260 Newtons of two forces. Take those two forces as F1, F2. The resultant force magnitude of F1, F2 is 260 Newton. Condition is F1 is equal to 2F2. That is the meaning of one of which is double the other. So that is the first sentence. We have two forces in the problem F1, F2. F1 is equal to 2F2. The resultant force magnitude of F1, F2 is 260 Newtons. Go to the second sentence. If the direction of the larger force is reversed, what is that larger force? F1 is the larger force. Because F1 is equal to 2F2, F1 is the larger force. If the direction of the larger force is reversed and the other remains unchanged. So in the second sentence, they reverse the direction of the force F1, but the force F2 remains in the same direction. Then the resultant force magnitude is 180 Newtons. So in the second condition, if we reverse the direction of the force F1, resultant force magnitude is 180 Newtons. Determine the magnitude of the two forces and also the angle between them. Find out the magnitude of the F1, F2 forces and also the angle theta between them. So read that problem carefully, understand that problem, then we will go to the solution of this problem. In the problem, we have two conditions. In the first condition, resultant force magnitude is 260 Newton. In the second condition, resultant force magnitude is 180 Newtons. What is the first condition? We have two forces F1, F2. F1 is equal to 2F2. That is the meaning of one of which is double the other. F1 is equal to 2F2. The resultant force magnitude is 260 Newtons. In the second condition, we reverse the direction of the force F1, opposite direction. the direction of the force F1 is reversed. The direction of the force F2 remains the same. So in the second condition, the resultant force magnitude is 180 newtons. Find out the magnitudes of F1, F2 and also the angle between them. We can also solve this problem. We can also solve this problem by preparing the parallelogram diagram. So to solve this problem, prepare the parallelogram diagram on the white paper. Then you can go to the solution of this problem. Coming to that solution first. Condition 1. First take the F1 is first force. So go to that solution. F1 is the first force. F2 is the second force. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. We are going to the solution of this problem. F1 is the first force. F2 is the second force. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. The condition is F1 is double the F2. That is the given condition. One of which is double the other. So F1 is double the force F2. So F1 is equal to 2F2. Coming to the first condition. This is the first condition. In the first condition, F1 is a larger force. One side of the parallelogram. F2 is the smaller force. Adjacent side of the parallelogram. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. Fr is the resultant force in the first condition. The resultant force magnitude is 260 newtons. This is the parallelogram in the first condition. F1 is the bigger force, one side of the parallelogram. F2 is the smaller force, second side of the parallelogram. Fr is the resultant force of F1, F2, 260 Newton. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. Apply the parallelogram law equation. According to parallelogram law, the resultant force magnitude Fr is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. Apply that parallelogram law equation in the diagram. This is that parallelogram law equation. Fr is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. What is the resultant force magnitude? 260 Newton. 260 is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. So check that carefully in the diagram. So here the resultant force is 260 Newton. Substitute in the left hand side. F1 is unknown. F2 is unknown. Cos theta, theta is unknown. So keep it as it is. Square this equation on both sides. Square the equation on both sides. So because of that squaring, you will get the equation as 260 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. Take that as equation 1. So go to this first condition carefully. Observe this first condition in the numerical problem. F1 is the first force, larger force. F2 is the second force, smaller force. Theta is the angle between the forces F1, F2. Please observe the diagram. F1 is unknown. F2 is unknown. Theta is also unknown. Then the resultant force in the first condition is the known magnitude 260 Newton. This is the parallelogram for the first condition. Apply the parallelogram law equation. From the parallelogram law equation, Fr is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. We know only this resultant force magnitude 260 Newton. Remaining right hand side is unknown. F1 is unknown, F2 is unknown, theta is also unknown. Square the equation on both sides. 260 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1, F2 cos theta. Equation 1. Coming to the second condition. What is there in the second condition? We reverse this direction of force F1. The force F1 direction is reversed. This is the parallelogram over the second condition. So please check that diagram in the second condition. F2 as it is, no change in the direction of second force, but the first force direction is reversed. When the direction of the first force is reversed, the angle between the first force and second force becomes as 180 minus theta. If the first force is in the right side direction, theta is the angle between the first force and second force. If the first force F1 is in the right side direction, between the force F1, F2, theta is the angle. But in the second condition, F2 direction is reversed. So F2 is acting in the left side direction. Since the direction of F1 is reversed, the angle between the forces F1, F2 here is 180 minus theta. And this is the parallelogram for the second condition. Complete that parallelogram. F2 is same direction, F1 direction is reversed. So the angle between the F1, F2 forces is 180 minus theta. This is the resultant force. Passing through this common point, resultant force. In the second condition, resultant force Fr is 180 newtons. The difference is, in the second condition, the direction of the F1 is reversed. So the angle between the first force and second force in the condition 2 is 180 minus theta. In the second condition, the resultant force magnitude is 180 newtons. Apply the parallelogram law in the second condition. Apply the parallelogram law. According to parallelogram law, Fr square is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos of angle between the forces F1 F2. Here that angle is 180 minus theta. So apply that parallelogram law here. Fr is equal to, in the second condition, Fr is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. Cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. Fr is 180 newtons. So 180 is equal to root of F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Square the equation on both sides. Square the equation on both sides. You will get 180 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Equation 2. So in the second condition, if the direction of the force F1 is reversed, larger force. If the direction of the force F1 is reversed, the angle between the forces F1 F2 becomes as 180 minus theta. Apply the parallelogram law. Equation, resultant force magnitude root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos 180 minus theta. Cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. Resultant force is 180 Newton. Square this equation on both sides. So 180 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Equation 2. Just now we discussed equation 1. Equation 1 is 260 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Add the first equation and second equation. Add the first and second equation. What is the right hand side of the first equation? F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. What is the right hand side of the second equation? F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. So if I add the first equation and second equation, the plus 2F1 F2 cos theta minus 2F1 F2 cos theta will cancel. So add the first equation and second equation. So here first equation LHS is 260 square. Second equation LHS is 180 square. So 260 square plus 160 square is equal to RHS. First equation RHS F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta plus second equation RHS F1 square plus F2 square minus 2F1 F2 cos theta. This will cancel. The plus 2F1 F2 cos theta minus 2F1 F2 cos theta will cancel. So this right hand side becomes as 2F1 square. 2F1 square plus 2F2 square. But you know that F1 is equal to 2F2. That is the condition in the problem. First force is double the second force. So F1 is equal to 2F2. So in the right hand side, substitute this F1 is 2F2. So this equation becomes as 260 square plus 180 square is equal to 2 into F1 is 2F2. So it is 2F2 whole square plus 2F2 square. Simplify that. So 260 square plus 180 square is equal to 2 into F1 is 2F2. 2F2 whole square plus 2F2 whole square. Expand. Simplify this right hand side. It is 2F2 whole square, 4F2 square into 2. It is 8F2 whole square plus 2F2 square. So the right hand side is 8F2 square plus 2F2 square becomes to 10F2 square. So this is the equation. 260 square plus 180 square is equal to 10F2 square. This 260 square plus 180 square is equal to 1 lakh. This is the value of 260 square plus 180 square. 1 lakh is equal to 10 into F2 square. So F2 square is equal to 10,000. So the force F2 magnitude is 100 newtons. So in this problem, F2 is 100 newtons. F1 is double the F2. So F1 is equal to 2F2. So this force F2 is 200 newtons. So in this problem, force F1, large force is 200 Newton. Force F2 is 100 Newton. We are also asked to find out the angle between the forces F1, F2. Theta also we are asked to find out. So take the equation 1. We know that in equation 1, 260 square is equal to F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. We know now this value of F1 200, F2 100. Substitute these values in the right hand side. So 260 square is equal to 200 square plus 100 square plus 2 into 200 into 100 into cos theta. Simplify this equation. Cos theta is equal to 0.44. So theta is equal to cos inverse 0.44. That theta comes to 63.89 degrees. So in this numerical problem, we calculate the magnitudes of F1, F2 forces and also the angle theta between the forces F1, F2. This is the solution of this problem. So dear students, if anybody is having doubts in the numerical problems in parallelogram law of forces, you please discuss with me. If you have doubts in this numerical problems, you please discuss with me. Any doubt, students, in the numerical problems of the parallelogram law of forces? If you have any doubts in that numerical problem, I explained 8 numerical problems in parallelogram law of forces. If you have the doubts in that numerical problems, you please discuss with me. Any doubt, students, in the numerical problems of parallelogram law of forces from 1 to 8? If anyone is having doubts, what about the remainings? If anybody is having doubt in those numerical problems, you please discuss with me. Any doubts to the other students in those numerical problems? So if you are not having the doubts, in the previous classes we started the determination of resultant force of coplanar concurrent force system. We started in the previous classes the determination of the resultant force of the coplanar concurrent force system. In that, I explained we have two methods to find out the resultant force of coplanar concurrent force system. One is the graphical method, next one is the analytical method or the method of projections. In the graphical method, again we have three methods: parallelogram law of forces, triangle law of forces, and polygon law of forces. In those graphical methods, we completed only the first graphical method, the parallelogram law of forces. And also we completed the numerical problems in parallelogram law of forces. Then in the graphical method, we have the remaining two methods. The next one is the triangle law of forces followed by the parallelogram law of force, the polygon law of forces. Next class, I will explain the remaining two graphical methods, the triangle law of forces and the polygon law of forces, to find out the resultant force of the coplanar concurrent force system. So with this, I am going to stop the today's class. If anybody is having doubts in this resultant force of coplanar concurrent force system, you please discuss with me. And if you are not having the doubts, you can leave the class. If you have doubts, you please discuss with me.